Welcome into the Michigan Football Report. I am your host, as always, James Yoder. Doing a little bit different today. Little Friday night self-producing. I don't know if I'll put this out Friday night, Saturday morning, but bear with me if I'm looking off camera a little bit. We've got a lot of things happening with Michigan. I didn't want to wait till Sunday, till the people are back in the Chat Sports studio to bring you the latest around Michigan football news and rumor. So, what is going on with this program? Number one, Michigan football players seem to be fleeing at a level that I don't know if I have ever seen. And it all started yesterday with a, I guess, surprising transfer to some people. I don't know if it was surprising to you. It certainly was surprising to me if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, because Zach Carpenter, who is now considered a starting offensive lineman, he transferred away from this Michigan football team. And why? Why would he do that? I don't know the answer, okay? I wish I could tell you the answer. But he's been your starting center for the past few weeks with Andrew Bastardis out with injury, I guess. And a young player like that in his second year in the program, going in, starting already, moving on. He's got multiple years of starting ahead of him with Jim Harbaugh. Potentially, now he's going to walk out the door. It is definitely concerning, definitely troubling to me. So I don't know where to go from here, because it's not just Zach Carpenter. It is not just Zach Carpenter that is considering leaving. It is not just Zach Carpenter that probably will leave. There are going to be multiple players, and potentially 10 plus. Some people are trying to out 20 plus players that transfer away from this Michigan football program, impact players, whether Jim Harbaugh stays or whether he goes and moves on to another job with the NFL, or potentially just gets fired and let go and sits out of football coaching for a little bit of a while. So that is the latest on the offensive line. You've got Zach Carpenter, who's out, and we'll kind of talk about it a little bit more here in a second. But ask you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We've got 11,455 or some odd subscribers to the channel. I'll throw the number up there right now. It's 11,488 subscribers. So if you haven't commented, if you haven't subscribed yet, if you are someone who watches the channel but doesn't subscribe, be a part of the MFers Club. Be an MFer. Subscribe to the channel, get us to 12,000. Hit me on Twitter too, at James Yoder. Tell me that you're an MFer. I'm following everybody through the end of the year who tells me they're an MFer on Twitter, and of course also follows me. So make sure to hit me on Twitter with a James, I'm an MFer. Retweet you, hit you back with a comment or with a follow. But I'll ask you guys this question: do you want Jim Harbaugh back? Go down in the comments below this video. I'm going to pin this question beneath the video. Answer: yes, no. Give me your reasons why. You're gonna hit with a YouTube ad break. I think we're at that point in the video now. YouTube wants to hit you with an ad break. So go down below the video, the pinned comment, reply. Do you want Jim Harbaugh back as Michigan's football coach? And if you do, let me know. If you don't, by the time you are done with commenting, scroll back up. Video should be done. All right. Offensive lineman Nolan Rumler, a player that I think you can consider a steal for Michigan, given in the 2019 recruiting class last year, second year in the program. He was a top 200 player, like 168 in the country, out of Archbishop Hoban, a private school, incredibly athletically driven in Akron, Ohio, right where I grew up. And it sounds like I've been hearing this all season, and some of the blog boys, claiming to confirm it, that it's going down ASAP. He wants to be in a new school by January. So a second young offensive lineman, a second player that has multiple years of football in front of him, is out of the program, right? I don't know if it's going to be announced today. I don't know if it's going to be announced tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be announced next week, or if he'll just show up in the transfer portal and someone will tweet it out. I'm not sure, but it's troubling. Another offensive lineman, another young offensive lineman that we would potentially be relying on next season, the season after that, the season after that. He is going to be gone from the program. And is he the only one? Not really, folks, because there is a lot of chatter out there. Some I have sourced myself, some other people are reporting on, that 15 plus players, young players, a lot of them, potential impact players. I'm going to name a few of them in a few moments. So if you don't want to wait till the end of the video, you're going to miss out on some big-time names that might not be with the Michigan football program going forward. But 15 players? 20 players? I don't know. Gosh, if it's more than 10, that's almost like getting probation. That's almost like the death penalty if you have 15 or 20 players leave your program, especially guys who might be big impact players. I'm going to kind of jump into one of them right now. I don't know if we're going to see these guys all it's going to happen next week, the week after, but the Michigan semester's over. The season, I don't know if it's going to be over. A little chatter that Michigan might actually play in that championship week game on December 19th. Some rumors that Jim Harbaugh wants a bowl game, which is really odd to me that you're going to play that crossover game week and they play a bowl game. You're not going to win either one of those games. I don't care who it's against. So you're just going to have a 2-6 season. I think you should get, tend to your house, right? Tend to your farm, Jim Harbaugh, and quit heading out there trying to do all this other stuff, because with 15+ transfers happening potentially by the end of the month, I think you got a lot of things on your mind that could be going down with the program, including this one. I told you about it a few weeks back, and I have confidence that whether it happens or not, Daxton Hill is seriously considering a transfer out of Michigan with Alabama, the school in December of 2018 that he originally decommitted from Michigan, committed back to Alabama, and then came back to Michigan. That is a potential landing spot for the 5-star safety, the former top 10 player in the country in the 2019 recruiting class. The guy whose brother, Justice Hill, is making some waves in the NFL, and that would be a blow to the talent level of the Michigan football program. And frankly, negative recruiting would just not end at that point. Hey, look at this 5-star who was starting the entire season of sophomore year, made a big impact his freshman year. That place is such a shit show at Michigan. You don't even want to go there because this guy doesn't even want to go there. He's a 5-star. He's a starting job. He'd rather go to Alabama. No guarantees. I don't know if maybe go to LSU, go to Florida. I don't know where he'll be, but it's not going to be at Michigan, of course, if he transfers. I'm not saying he's going to or not, but there was a lot of chatter. I would put it over 50% that Daxton Hill is not with this Michigan football program next year. And if that's the case, then I think Michigan, the athletic department, Jim Harbaugh, they got to look in the mirror and say, what in the hell are we doing? Considering Daxton Hill has not had a safeties coach this entire season. Bob Shoop was hired to be the safeties coach for the University of Michigan this offseason. He has not been with the program since, August or September? The only reason we know about that is because some reporter found it out. Michigan finally came out and said, oh, yeah, he's dealing with a family issue. Look, I've dug into this. I don't know what the reason Bob Shoop is not with Michigan right now completely, but I have narrowed it down. No one will give me a straight answer, but people beat around the bush or not. It is not something good. Let me just say that. I've heard people say, is it a DUI? I don't know if it is. Is it some sort of spousal issue? Is it some sort of abuse issue? I don't know the answer, but it is something, and it is something bad. And outside of the fact that whatever he did off the field is obviously troubling, what's more bad, what's more impactful to Michigan, right? Not gonna hope everyone's safe in his family. Whatever happened, I hope everything has turned out okay. But the fact that Daxton Hill, your most talented player in your entire roster, has went his entire sophomore year without a position coach is a abject and absolute failure on the part of Jim Harbaugh and the part of Ward Manuel, Michigan's head coach, and Michigan's athletic director, who might be the one who has to decide whether or not Jim Harbaugh returns as Michigan's football coach, which I don't know if he should. But I will ask you guys this question. Predict, down in the comments, predict who will be Michigan's next head coach if Jim Harbaugh does not return, whether he's fired, whether he decides to leave on his own. Go down in the comments, predict who will be Michigan's next head coach. And if you think it's Harbaugh, that's fine. Go ahead and just say Jim Harbaugh. He'll be back in 2021. All I'm asking you guys to do this for is I want to get a pulse. I sit here in this silo. I don't know if everyone thinks the same as I do. I watch the games on TV. I talked to about 3 people. They either have a family member who works the program, works there themselves, or their son does. I've got 2 or 3, 4 sources. They vary on how much information to give me from time to time. Sometimes it benefits them to give it to me because they're trying to get some information out there that maybe they don't want to give to somebody else. But I want you guys to comment who will be Michigan's next head coach. And if you think it'll be Jim Harbaugh, of course, just type in Jim Harbaugh. And, before I forget, Make sure to follow me on Twitter at James Yoder. Tell me you're an MFer. Michigan Football Report, MFR. Say, James, I'm an MFer. Follow me. I'll hit you back. Just make sure you do it before December 31st. No one knows what's going to happen in the 2021 year, 2021. We might not even have Twitter. We might not even have the internet. I'm not sure what's going to happen next year after this crazy year of 2020 that it's been. All right, now some juicy ones. I'm very confident that Zach Charbonnet will transfer, and his likely destination will be the USC Trojans if they will have them. And that's the problem that we're going to see in college football over the next few weeks, few months, is that a lot of guys are going to transfer. You're going to see quite a few schools with 10 and 15 transfers, right? They're homesick. They're sick of the coronavirus stuff. They're sick of having to go through tests every day. They think it's just them. It's not happening in other schools. They're going to transfer. But with the eligibility rules kind of being flexible and guys not having to take an eligibility hit this year, you're going to see 5th and 6th year seniors in the next couple of years like you never have. Teams aren't going to have scholarships, and if the NCAA gives them an exemption to go over the 85 scholarship limit, there's not going to be teams that aren't going to want to pay for 110 or 115 or 107 scholarships for players to keep on 5th and 6th seniors or underperforming underclassmen. So I think we're going to get a situation, I don't think it'll be Zach Charbonnet, but it could be someone, from the Michigan football team that wants to transfer, and they go out there, no one offers them a scholarship. And in a lot of ways, their college career is over there as a football player because they thought the grass was greener. Football teams don't, the athletic department at USC might say, hey, we've got 6 running backs. We don't need to take Michigan's guys who can't get on the field, so let's not do that. And I think if any of the Michigan football players watch this, before you put your name in the transfer portal, before you tell Jim Harbaugh you're heading out the door, just make sure, back channel, call a friend who plays there, whatever, make sure they're going to take you. Because what you don't want to have happen as of your second year in school is to put your name in the transfer portal, figure out with the coronavirus restrictions, everything that's going on with money being tight, that you don't have a place to play college football the rest of your career because you didn't want to play at the school you originally had committed to. And that's the thoughts there. So keep an eye out for Zach Charbonnet. Haven't really seen him on the field at all this year, right? He's got 150 yards rushing, something crazy like that. It's one of the more perplexing situations I've seen in football history. And Michigan football, at least in the last recent history, I blame Jay Harbaugh in some ways for his running back rotation, for how this is all played out. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I got one more little batch of transfer rumors we're going to talk about here in a second. But be an MFer. Subscribe to the Michigan Football Report. We are the most watched, most discussed channel of Michigan football in any medium, more than radio, more than TV, more than podcasts. This show is the most widely discussed, widely watched show on planet Earth regarding to Michigan football. So if you guys like it, if you support the show, make sure to subscribe, get those numbers up. We've grown. We used to put the show only on Facebook last season before. This year, 2020, it's all been about YouTube since the middle of September. And thank you so much for doing it. I'm self-producing here. I got one more story to pop in. I don't think I made an error on this self-producing, but Mike Sainristil, Giles Jackson. There is some credible information that those guys are looking around. Sainristil to East Coast schools, Boston College, Virginia Tech, a few others in there, potentially some lower level schools, I don't know. And Giles Jackson, being from California, is that he might want to get out of Michigan. I don't know what it is. Now, some people are saying the Giles Jackson thing is just him messing around. He's kind of a goofball on the internet. I don't know what to say. I wouldn't be surprised if Giles Jackson left, but he's not going to go to Alabama. He's not going to go to Ohio State. He's not going to go anywhere else. Like, if he can't put up in his second year 80, 75, 100 yards, 5-6 catches a game, you're not going to upgrade Giles Jackson. So while it might be feeling nice to look around, if you feel like you're being underutilized, I caution you to not put your name out there until you are for sure that they're going to offer you a scholarship and that they're going to guarantee it for the entire time of that you're in college, right? The entire time you're in college, because you don't want to go to school that has they're not vested in you at Alabama, Giles Jackson. They have no long-standing relationship with you and your parents at LSU or at Cal or Washington, if that's the school you look at. So just be careful if you put it out there, because Michigan might not want you back if you put out publicly you're going to transfer. And the schools you go to, maybe they offer you a one-year scholarship. You don't start over the guys they have, and they just said, no, we're not going to. We're good here. We don't need a scholarship for you anymore. So just make sure. I hate to see a ton of college football players, Michigan or not, think the grass is greener and find out that the schools they want to go to don't have as much of a vested interest in their future as the schools that they originally committed to and originally attended. All right, that's the show for today, man. I'm going to be dangerous. If I can learn how to self-produce like I just did now, glance at my script, glance at the camera, glance at my production computer without having to do any post-production, I might be dangerous. So make sure I can do that, put out more videos, subscribe to the channel, hit this little icon right here, and I'll put a couple more videos for you right here, Michigan Football Report videos from earlier in the week. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. Till then, go Blue.